Agorska, Shudek.
So the pairs short program and the World Championships here in Nice get underway with a team that is one of the favorites this week. The bronze medalists from last year's World Championships, Zagorska and Mariusz Shudek of Poland.
Skating to Dvorak's New World Symphony.
Is a double twist. Nice, light and easy.
Remember, what we're seeing here are short programs. The first part of the competition with 8 elements. This is the second side-by-side triple jump.
Very strong. A little off in their unison, but otherwise very well done.
This is element number 3. Side-by-side spins. By the way, these do not have to be done in any particular order.
We've already talked about how competitive pairs has been throughout the season. Zagorska and Shudek, almost a forgotten pair. They finished third at the Europeans recently, and I mentioned that bronze medal at Worlds last season, but up until that point, very disappointing season for them.
This is a throw, triple sock out. Beautifully landed. Wonderful edge coming out of it. With this pair, take a look at their competitive record. It goes since 1995 in 16th place, 13th, 8th, 5th, and last year 3rd. That's the way you should progress in this sport.
They've been skating together for 6 years. Now they're engaged to be married. Beautiful extension on this final move, this death spiral. Well, that was very nice. They skated this short program with such confidence. Good for them.
They live and train in Auschwitz amid reminders of a not-so-positive and beautiful past.
I think the great thing about this pair is the fact that they have really been dedicated and have stuck with it forever, and it's beginning to show.
5-time Polish champions, Agorska and Shudek.
And this was their side-by-side triple toe loops that they did so well at the beginning of the program. They tap in, and both of them complete this very clean jump. Good speed on the landing, and this was one of their final lifts. He actually lifts her with one arm. And just really nice extension, very unusual moves. Very smooth in the transitions.
Skating so early in the evening is not going to help them. It never does. The judges always leaving room at the top. The first of 2 sets of marks now. Required element marks 5.4 up to 5.7. The two taking up 1 seed and room for everyone in there in the kitchen cross. Presentation marks now 5.5 up to 5.7 for Agorska and Shudek. They set the pace. Thank you. Back inside the Palais des Expositions, or the Exposition Palace for those of us who don't speak French. We'll stick with English. Thank you very much.
You did it beautifully. You just said that perfectly.
Thank you. The
That
check
gets
will-
a 6.0.
Check is in the mail. Peggy Schwartz, Mirko Mueller from Germany. The 98 world bronze medalist. Hard times as of late, though. They finished 8th last year in Helsinki.
This has always been a very sharp-looking pair. First, a throw, double twist.
And now they're side by side, triple toes. Nicely done.
It's very, neat and precise. Nothing out of control there. And this is throw, triple Salchow. Beautiful, smooth landing. She just skated on a clean edge right out of that jump. That was first rate. And note here that his hand is on her hip. That's one of the requirements of this lift, a hand-to-hip lift. Descent into the forward inside death spiral. Nice position there.
Well, they're skating with a calm and very much in the character of this music. It's very laid back, but yet has a nice crisp sharpness to it too.
He has a very good position there. Interesting switch over. That's one of the better pair spins that we've seen. Side-by-side spins. Beautiful synchronization there and good position. This is a first-rate spin combination. Spin, pair, spin. Very nice. I've got to tell you, this is the best pair that we've seen so far in the competition tonight.
No mistakes. They took every element one at a time.
But did you notice how straight the backs were? The feet were stretched, the toes were pointed, and yet the jumps and the lifts were also athletic and strong. I must say I was very impressed with this performance. Now, on this throw triple Salchow, watch her feet. Tight. There, the landing. Now watch the edge. Straight, outside, no back inside edge to wiggle and change from. That was a very clean landing.
Peggy Schwartz, who has a son, Michael, who's almost 5 years old now, pumping some iron to get ready for this World Figure Skating Championship. Required element marks 5.4 to 5.6.
I must say, I thought they were extremely attractive pair.
And presentation marks now 5.5 to 5.7. So you thought maybe they were the best that you've seen, but they're in second place right now behind Abby Bowl and Bernadette.
Well, I would have put them in first place, but after all, that's what makes the game the game.
Back in Nice right now, it's Abby Bowl and Bernadette, the French team in the lead over Schwartz and Mueller of Germany and Agorska and Shudek of Poland. The pairs short program worth 1/3 of the total score. Remember, they'll crown the champions. You can see that on April 8th over on ABC Sports. Here in the pairs. On the ice now, Yulia Overtosh and Dimitri Palamarchik of Ukraine. Extremely young team that until this season had won 2 straight junior world titles.
They have a very crisp style, lots of energy. They are opening with side by side, triple toes. didn't finish the rotation. So that will be an element to deal with in this short program for them.
That means anywhere from .1 to .4 tenths of a deduction.
Nice throw, triple Salchow. A lot of distance in that throw.
That throw had very little height, and he just flipped her across the top of the ice.
They're off on their unison and that side-by-side spin.
This pair does have is great speed. They're taking a page out of the Russian book of pair skating. The Russians always skate with great strength and power and speed.
And that was a very nice circular step sequence they did. They had a lot of speed, very interesting choreography.
Again, a hand to hip lift. Down into that position. Good speed on this pair spin.
They were refreshing.
She's only 15 years old, and he's 20. You should be refreshing when you're that young. Well, the second trip to the Senior World Championships. They finished 11th last year, won 2 Junior World titles, and a second-place finish at Junior Worlds this season. Yulia Overtosh and Dimitri Palamarchik.
And here's the element they had trouble with, the side-by-side triple toe loops. Watch her as she taps in. She doesn't get the lift to finish that rotation and steps out of that landing. He did a clean one, though. And this was their throw triple Salchow, this back inside edge takeoff, and he throws her not very high in the air. It's amazing she finished those rotations. She can spin very fast in the air.
Mentioned the Russian similarities, Dick, and they live very near Russia, in eastern Ukraine. I want to point out, though, they're told us extremely Ukrainian. They identify with Ukraine.
They have great pride in their country.
4.9 to 5.1 for required elements.
Well, they should also have great pride in their skating because they were really a startlingly attractive young pair. Good energy and good speed.
Presentation 5.1 to 5.4, so Overtosh and Palamarchik into 4th place ahead of the Canadians. Back at the World Figure Skating Championships in Nice, the Chinese pair, Shuei Shen, Hongbo Zhao in the lead over Abisbol and Bernadette, and Schwartz and Mueller of Germany. And here is almost a forgotten pair from Russia. They were the bronze medalists at the Russian Nationals the past 2 seasons. Tatiana Topminana and Maxime Marinin. But the Flower Girl makes an appearance. Something on the ice.
Tatiana.
Break it. I know what you always think about this. You think it relaxes the skaters when they have a delay at the start.
If it lasts long enough, and they can't hold their breath forever, in other words.
7th in the world last season.
Their opening move, a double twist. A very nice flow over the ice, nice long line. Another side-by-side. by-side triple toe loop.
Good speed going into these.
Very nice. The unison was a little off, and they were kind of far apart.
And they're also really, they weren't perfectly positioned jumps, but they did go into them with a lot of speed. Now watch again this hip to hand, hand to hip lift.
Here they are also planning to do a throw triple loop. Nice.
She's a very flexible young lady. Wow, those spins were off center. It's a good thing they pulled out of them when they did, because the swing was getting awfully close to their head. Now look at how she bends over and getting down into that position. Rather ugly, that entrance. The ending position quite nice. This element right here is one of the step sequences. They have to do either a circular, a serpentine, or a straight line, which is what this is.
Nice, interesting moves, a little slow. Now their final move, this pair spin.
A little bit late. The positions in those spins, you know, really weren't very attractive. They didn't quite seem to have the stretch and style that they should have.
Perhaps more pressure on them, too, as a Russian pair to carry on that great mantle of Russian pairs skating without Berezhnaya and Wladyslawa, who were forced to withdraw from the World Championships.
And here's a look of Shin and Zhao on the left doing their split double twist, and the Russians on the right. You can see that Shin and Zhao's was much higher, and that delay made it extraordinary.
Tatiana, only 18 years old. They live and train in St. Petersburg, a capable team. They were in first place after the short program at the Russian Nationals, finished third after the free skate. 5.1 to 5.4 the first set. And now for a presentation, 5.2 up to 5.5. So Sobianina and Marinin of Russia into 5th place, right behind the Polish team right now. And Bernadette and Schwartz and Mueller of Germany right now. But here are the Americans, Tiffany Scott and Philip Dulac, the reigning U.S. silver medalist.
Well, being here at Worlds is new territory for them. I think being here, I think, helps you see the big picture of what skating's all about when you're here participating, not watching at home.
Well, the big picture is going to be this side-by-side triple loop. And it was a good picture, wasn't it?
Very nice.
Triple toe loop.
Well, they went into those jumps with a lot of confidence.
Flip, double twist. Now side-by-side spin. Notice they spin to the right. Most skaters spin and jump to the left.
Phillips skating with a fracture in his left wrist. He had it in Cleveland at the Nationals. He's had it for a long time, but it was never really healed properly. And much like Alexei Yagudin, who we'll see in the men's event, that wrist, he told us it really affected his spin.
Well, all the blood rushes to the ends of your fingertips when you spin.
Oh.
Strange sensation.
Now, interestingly, he lifted her with his right hand, but turned to the right. That just seemed unusual, didn't it?
Making that switch because of the fractured left wrist.
Now the throw, triple Salchow, inside edge takeout. Very good.
You know, those positions were all relatively attractive positions. Some of the pairs have done it rather unattractively. Nice positions. This is a very much improved pair just in this short period of time.
Good job.
It's sort of like expecting two great dancers at the Metropolitan Ballet suddenly coming up and high-fiving each other. I love it. I
And
love
what's
it.
wrong with that? There's nothing wrong
Not
with
a
it.
thing, not a thing. It's just so unexpected, you know. The costumes are perfect, the choreography is wonderful, the music is dramatic, and then there's a good high five.
So you break character now and then, huh? Look at all the American fans here, too, and a great reaction from the French crowd. Tiffany, Scott, Philip, Dulac.
Now, look at this throw triple Salchow. Watch the way he lifts her into the air. Good, nice, tight turn. She doesn't get huge height, but the feet are beautifully pointed, and the body is perfectly up and down. And watch the completion of the turn as she lands it with a very clean edge. That was a nice, nice triple Salchow.
Along with their coach, Carl Kurtz, and Philip told us earlier this week, they hope to get in the 5 range, somewhere in there. Fire element, well, 4.7, but up to a 5.4.
Well, you know, I think the important thing is they skated well. They knew they did, and it gives them confidence. The judges sometimes need a performance or two to catch up. But, I mean, they should be very pleased with them.
Presentation 4.7 to 5.4. So Scott and Dulac, the U.S. silver medalist, into 6th place so far here in the pair short program.
Well, the 4.7 really were not justified, but what can I say?